Okay guys, it's me, and hello to everyone, and thanks Asha for inviting me to your program. I have your package right here, and box of questions, and a couple snacks. I always like to have mixed nuts around, good clean snack, but these are quite the treat. If you haven't had them, I suggest you find them. They're delicious. So let's get this started. First question. What is the inspiration behind digital vinyl recordings? When I was in Miami, I was producing and remixing a lot, as well as DJing, but producing and remixing was my focus, and I had a lot of labels contacting me and signing records and wanting to sign records, and this was right during the introduction of digital DJing, Serato being the first one that I know of. And basically, I decided that I should start releasing my own music. I figured if the labels that I love were contacting me, then the music that I was making was obviously good enough to put out. So that's how that started. Basically, like I said, it was to release my own music and do it less expensive than pressing vinyl, which even back then wasn't cheap, but I wanted to bridge the gap between the upcoming digital world and the past of the vinyl world, and that's how that started. It quickly became an outlet for new artists, which I was discovering that people were sending me and whatever. And I was really liking the stuff, but what happened is I was no longer releasing my music, so it kind of became more of a business, and don't really love that part of it, but I do love discovering new people, getting their music out to the world, and watching them grow and move on to bigger, better things. Next question. What do you like and dislike about the music industry today? The music industry has always been not artist friendly, or starving artist would be the part about it that sucks, but I think it's just the business. Like, as an artist, you don't want to deal with the business, you just want to make music and you want people to hear it. So that being said, I would just have to say the business. It's the same as it was before. I think it's actually even worse. The technology has shackled the artist even more, and until the artists unite, like every other art-driven form, movies, writers, etc., and fight back, it's going to stay that way, and it's not going to get any better. So I think technology has made the business even worse, and the consumer hasn't really helped, because they're more or less ignorant to the fact that, yeah, they're paying for Spotify or whatever it is that they're listening their music on, YouTube, whatever, but that artist that they love or like their music isn't really getting a whole lot from that. And if you can support them directly, go to the shows, buy the merch, go to their website, purchase directly. That's the best way to beat the system. Next question. A dream event you would like to play for? I'm not really like a festival kind of guy. I don't really like festivals. In today's world, that the Boiler Room would probably be something I would be interested in. It's intimate, but still bigger. I believe there's an actual like interaction between the crowd and the DJs and the music. So that would probably be what I would want to do. Good questions, by the way. What would a collaborative world look like to you? Collaborative world for me would look like a, basically, I do a lot of stuff for the love. You know, I show up to vinyl events and do a set just because I want the next generation to understand what the fascination is with vinyl and why it's so hard to let go, and why I still have thousands. Even though I've let go of thousands of records, I still have thousands left. Some I'll probably die with. Just can't bring myself to part with them. But, there's an attachment, there's a feeling to that. So doing things for the love, the music, the moving things forward, exposing people to things, that's definitely a collaboration for me, like, helping out those who are also trying to do the same thing, and that can benefit the health, happiness, and freedom for all humans, whether it's a charity or whether it's a cause or fights for justice or whatever it is. Anything that collaborates and works towards a better world, I'm all about it. So if you have a project, let me know. Reach out. Next question. Do you think that too many people want to be artists, particular DJs and singers? It's definitely oversaturated. I don't think that people want to be DJs and singers as much as they want to be possibly famous or seen or get attention for that. And that seems like an easy way for them to do it because of the way social media and technology has made the actual art of DJs and singers not necessarily irrelevant, but kind of a back burner. There's terrible singers and terrible DJs that have millions of followers or lots of followers, and that makes them a DJ or singer and famous to some people. Then you have these reality shows of, where it's a very one-dimensional type of show that, like legends from the 50s, 60s, 70s, even 80s would have never been able to become famous if it was today's society. Even though these people are legends and have countless hits and Grammys and whatever, they wouldn't have been given the platform due to the way the industry is designed. It's a fast food type industry where, what's new, what's next, and substance doesn't really matter. But on the other hand, there is a lot of great music and DJs out there as well who you should seek out. You think that you've seen it all or whatever, but there's always somebody that just blows you away. You're so happy when that happens. So be that person. Give us 3 artists we should be paying attention to. Okay, well, this will be a little biased because I would say Asha is someone I always think should be listened to. Her voice style and delivery is very unique, and I'm glad that I've been able to release her stuff and watch her grow as an artist and a human. I always look forward to something that she's doing. So Asha, that's kind of a given. So I won't count that. By the way, I have something coming out with her hopefully this year by summer. I'm actually producing a hip hop album that is with a local guy, Ollie Twist, from Connecticut, but lives here in Florida. And we are about to finish up that album. It's a retro, old school style hip hop tribute album, being that it was the 50th anniversary of hip hop. We went back to like a 90s kind of old school feel, but that should be out on vinyl this summer. And that is someone you should be looking out for, Ollie Twist, produced by myself. He's an amazing guitarist, and he's actually released tracks with people like Raekwon, some other big underground artists, but Ollie Twist, be on the lookout for that. If you haven't heard of Ancient Deep or Sacred Heart, they were I was one of the first people that signed them. They've done some cool stuff, and I always look forward to what they have coming out. Ancient Deep. I just recently worked with Riva Starr and Casamena and that crew. Always love what they do. Believed in them from the beginning, and that's definitely somebody you should look out for. One of my newest artists I'm pretty excited about, Satellite Frank. We have his first release coming up. Pretty straightforward track, nothing crazy, but he's a talented young guy. He does some great hybrid sets with live piano while DJing. He's got a great musical diversity background. He's really embraced the house scene and the dance culture and club, and he gets it. And it's someone I've had my eye on for a couple years. Looking forward to see what happens and watch him grow. We've got some stuff coming up with him. That's who I would say look out for. As the head honcho, in what ways have artists changed? I think the biggest way that the artists have changed is technology. The ease of being able to make a record and release a record. You can blink an eye and have something released worldwide within an hour. I'm sorry, it probably won't be good, but I'm just saying that it's possible to do that, and the cost and ease of that because of technology. And then of course, marketing and social media and the reach that you have. You know a lot of people when you're younger, and you're able to infiltrate that space a lot quicker than you could back in the day when you had to actually invite people and have people show up, and then there was really no way to keep in contact with those people except for word of mouth. That word of mouth has grown, but the rate of return to me is a lot lower. Like, you're lucky if you can get a 1% return on any kind of marketing these days. All right, next question. How do you find and pick your artist? Honestly, like my favorite period of finding artists was when MySpace was around, and I think that may be how I found Asha, or vice versa, or she sent me a demo or something. But it was during that age, and man, there was so much good stuff being sent to me because of the label. Now it's the same way. I get a lot of promos or demos or whatever, but like, to be honest, like even with people like Satellite Frank, like I just try to keep my ears and eyes on what's happening locally, and or what's really bubbling up underneath, and then I'll research that and follow up with it. And I receive some cool demos from people that are overseas or Asia, Europe, wherever, Africa, South America. Like I've had people from places I didn't even know that were a country, reach out to me. So that's pretty cool. And I love finding new talent and hearing something that really piques my interest, and then following up with that and trying to make something happen, so but my favorite period was definitely back in the MySpace days, when music was the platform for social media. But I still get sent a lot of good demos, and I still see a lot of cool people that are doing cool stuff, and I look forward to that. Who are the DJs who inspired you? Well, I actually started as a DJ in hip hop. I wasn't a great break dancer, but I just loved the music, and I grew up on music, and like Motown, disco, old rock and roll, all that stuff, and music was always a huge part of our household. And then hip hop came out, and just I was all in. The music just blew me away, and I had to be part of it somehow. And I just bought everything that came out, every hip hop record I could find out. Every single day I was at the record store, and like I said, me and my friends were breakdancing, and I wasn't the best in the crew, but I always had the music, and they were like, dude, like, make us tapes. And anyway, that's how that started. So I started as a hip hop and DJ, and Jam Master Jay, Grandmaster Flash was the first DJ I ever saw do that, and I was just like, well, I have to do this. This is amazing. So Grandmaster Flash, Jam Master Jay, Eric B. After hip hop, I got into house music back in the late 80s, and I was receiving tapes from Chicago from a friend of mine who later became part of the Torres brothers. We all worked together, but he was getting tapes from Chicago, and Bad Boy Bill was basically playing house music, but scratching and doing all these things that was also part of hip hop. And I was, as soon as I heard him DJing house music, I had already started getting into house music, and like once I heard that, and I knew you could bring both worlds together, that was kind of how I got into to that. So Bad Boy Bill, kudos to him for the BMX days, Hot Mix 5, all those guys. But starting out, Grandmaster Flash, that's how it happened. Is there something that you do outside of music? Yes, I do. I love the beach. I love food. I love finding new restaurants and trying new things. I'm a craft beer connoisseur. I've owned craft beer restaurants, managed, run, and that. So I like trying new beers. I do sunrise yoga. Music permeates most of my day. I love reading and self-improvement, any sort of self-improvement. So that's the beach. That's just number one after music. I think beach is probably number one, and that's the main reason I live in Florida. Awesome beaches. So any sort of beach activity I'm probably in. But yeah, food, drinks, beach, music. That pretty much sums it up. And I think I'm actually out of questions. So if you have any you'd like to ask me, feel free. I want to thank Asha and her management team for asking me to do this, and I hope you enjoyed it. And thanks for being my first self-video made interview.